Hey guys, it's Q with QLovesHair, and today's video is about gray hair, specifically coloring gray hair. And let me tell you, that is not an easy thing to do. If you are curious or have had some issues with it in the past, this video is for you, so don't go anywhere. Okay, so we're back. There's a little backstory to this video. My client that I've been servicing for years had to go get her hair done by someone else when I was out of town. What you're looking at now is what her hair normally would look like after it's grown out from the color service about a month prior. The video that I'm putting up now is what actually happened to her hair when she got her color service at the other salon. As you can see, there's her natural black color. Then there's like this layer of brown where the color service did not process completely. And then there's her gray hair. Unfortunately, this is something that happens quite a bit. I've seen it many times. So if you're a stylist and this is an area you need a little bit of help in, keep watching because I do have some tips that will help you out. At this point, we're going to get right into the color service. So the first thing you need to determine is what kind of color do you need. In most African American black salons, we use rinses, and that was wonderful. It worked well when the client had a relaxer. But now with such an increase in clients growing out their natural textures, a rinse just cannot do it. It's not strong enough. So you have to determine whether or not you're going to be able to get away with the rinse or whether or not you're going to have to use a semi, demi, or permanent hair color. For this particular client, I use a demi color. I used the demi because I did not like the results I got with the semi-permanent or the rinses. It did not cover, even with heat, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it just did not do the job. So we stepped her up to a demi-permanent color. And all that means is now we're using a little bit of developers. They call it processing solution, a very, very low volume developer. But that's what we are using now to make sure we get complete coverage. Her formulation is a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm using a 1N, a natural black, level 1. And so I want you to pay close attention to the base or the underlying tone that you see in the color. It's a violet or a blue violet tone, which is going to be perfect because her black is going to have that nice depth to it. So her black is going to look very natural. If you choose to use a black color that has a green base, then the color is going to have a green cast. So you want to use a product that has a blue or blue violet base to get natural results. So notice that I am only applying the color to the roots of the hair. The reason being, the rest of the hair is already colored. When you overlap color on top of color, you end up with darker color on the ends and lighter color at the roots. And that's just not a good look. Another problem you face when you overlap color is color removal. If there ever comes a time where the client says, hey, you know what, I really want to try something else, you are going to have a hard time removing old color that has been overlapped repeatedly. Now let's talk saturation. Saturation is probably one of the biggest challenges for some stylists. Some of that has to do with cost. I mean, color is expensive and you're trying to stretch the color out. You know what? You can't afford to do that. I would rather charge the customer an additional fee for extra color than not get the hair completely covered. So take thin sections. You want sections you can see through. My client here, her hair is thin. She's more mature. So her hair is thinning out. I don't have to use as much color on her, but I am definitely going to use thin sections and make sure that color is everywhere I want it. Another issue is your color formula. You want to decide, are you blending gray or are you completely covering it? My client is a no-brainer, honey. She wants it completely covered. So we're not blending anything. So my formulation is going to be designed for complete coverage. That could be something as simple as doubling your color to your solution or using a actual gray coverage line, because they do vary. And don't forget, color is like math. Always double check your work. Here's another pitfall I see. When it comes to timing, choose the resistant or gray timing from the manufacturer. Usually 30 minutes is not going to be enough. I have some clients that sit a full 45 or even up to an hour. But don't worry about it. Make that work for you. Maybe offer a nail service. You can get in a quick haircut, maybe a roller set. You have options. Another trick I like to use is a plastic cap. Unless the instructions say do not use a plastic cap, then you should be fine if you use one. A little heat and resistant hair get along really well during a color service. So if you are going to use heat, be it from their natural body heat or from a dryer, I always put cotton around the cap just to make sure that the color doesn't become more runny than it should. You do not want color processing on their face running down their skin. It looks awful, and it's an extra step that your clients really appreciate. So it's time for the shampoo service, usually the client's favorite part. It's definitely my favorite when I'm getting it done. Anyway, a thorough shampoo. You want to thoroughly remove all color. I've seen instances where color has been left on the scalp of the hair and stained it or gotten really dark in one spot. Really focus on the hairline. No client wants the world to know they just got hair color. And here I'm just going through to check in, make sure that the color covered completely and it looks great. Again, it's all about the experience and the customer service. As you can see, my client is completely dry. Even after all that water, the color service, the black color, her shirt is not stained. Clients genuinely, truly appreciate when you go the extra mile. So I just threw this in here because, well, it's important. So keep them dry, stain free, and they'll be happy. Also, just a reminder to not freak out when the hair is wet. Dry hair gives you true color results, and sometimes it may look one way when it's wet and completely different when it's dry. So wait till it's dry before you panic. Thankfully, we are not panicking today because our color looks beautiful, a very natural black color. All the gray is gone and my client is happy, and you guys know how I am. As long as they're happy, I'm happy. Well, that's it for me. Again, this is Q with QLovesHair telling you to take care of what you love. Until next time. Bye.